This video seeks to explain the article Managerial Ambidexterity and the Cultural Toolkit in Project Delivery. To properly understand the topic, it is essential to know the difference between exploitation and exploration. Exploitation is when current capabilities and assets are exploited in a profitable way, while exploration is when new technologies, markets, and customers are explored to capture existing as well as new opportunities. Therefore, an ambidextrous approach requires harmonization and reconciliation of these two opposing activities, where they are put into place simultaneously. At the level of the manager, exploration activities include searching, discovering, creating, and experimenting with new opportunities, while exploitation activities are described as selecting, implementing, improving, and refining existing assets. There is a lack of agreement around the concept of managerial ambidexterity. On one hand, it's suggested that project managers will only achieve ambidexterity through interaction with team members and as a result of their dynamic interpretations of the environment. On the other, it has been identified that ambidextrous managers rely on professional legitimacy, social capital, and a holistic professional orientation in enacting exploitation and exploration. The main advantage of ambidexterity is the avoidance of coordination costs incurred by structurally separating activities. This is suggested as a necessity for firms that operate in highly competitive and dynamic environments. Research has established that ambidextrous organizations can successfully outperform their non-ambidextrous counterparts. The reference paper is focused on how managerial ambidexterity is enacted at the project level. Organizational culture is described as the basic assumptions and beliefs that are shared by members of an organization and define an organization's view of itself and its environment. So, when a supportive organizational context is created, individuals engage in ambidextrous activities. There are also two sets of organizational values and norms required for exploration and exploitation competencies, which are organizational diversity and a shared vision. There are several ways that ambidexterity arises, such as the sharing of culture and knowledge that enables the attainment of exploitation and exploration simultaneously. Additionally, a culture of trust can evoke ambidextrous alliances. The relationship between ambidexterity and culture at the project level sees culture as providing a toolkit of resources for managers to draw on, rather than as a unified belief system. These findings come from a study carried out on two projects, one in the transform industry and one in the generator industry. The main aim was to understand how ambidexterity emerges and the relationship between its origins and organizational outcomes. On both projects, some managers demonstrated higher levels of exploration than exploitation, while others were noticeably more engaged in exploitative behaviors. A minority of managers demonstrated high levels of both exploratory and exploitative behaviors in their activities. One way by which an organization can exploit its current capabilities and assets is through the refinement and improvement of processes, products, and capabilities. The scope of exploitation is cost reduction and profit maximization. In enabling and shaping their exploitative behaviors, managers drew on the cultural values of improving product and process efficiency and cautious incrementalism. In contrast, exploration involves the generation of new knowledge through knowledge searching and experimentation to advance existing frontiers of best practice. Overall, managers that undertook exploration-oriented activities routinely generated imaginative alternatives and were willing to experiment. By using organizational culture examination as a toolkit of valuable resources available to managers, the paper adds an important project-level perspective to the ambidexterity literature, which can conclude that with a favorable context at the macro level, ambidexterity will follow. The importance of ambidexterity is particularly of interest to high-tech organizations, which operate in dynamic environments and are often left with no choice but to consolidate existing business while simultaneously finding new opportunities. They are confronted with the dual demands of exploring new products at the same time exploiting existing ones.